Some people refer to you as the Black Eminem. That's a crazy reference, but we'll talk about that.
I tell them all, man, the streets ain't nothing fun outside.
Just ruthless.
Yeah, my dad, I didn't grow up with him in my life as close as I wanted to be with him. And then when he was making more of an effort to be in my life, he got murdered in front of me, but across the street. My aunt house is here. He got murdered in this house by my neighbor at that age. So that was crazy. I'm getting better now though. I've seen different things that's why when somebody be like, are you a gangster grab? I'm like, nah, I can't compare myself to them dudes that I've grew up. Street guys of today don't compare to what I've seen growing up. To me, it's an honor of being raised by the dudes that y'all heard stories about your whole life. The dudes they write movies about. And then they want to leave New York, or they fall on hard times and they homeless, whatever it is. Man, my friend straight lived with me. Like, fuck, are you good here?
Wow.
My mother be like, straight, go take a room, go, you good. Live with me, year, 2 years, whatever.
Growing up in Southside Jamaica, Queens, right? Let's talk about where it all started.
Facts.
Talk to me about
Jamaica.
what your childhood was like.
Jamaica, Queens is like any other hood, I guess, man. It's cold. It's ugly outside. It's I try to tell, now I do like a music therapy program where educate these kids on just how to express themselves emotionally, and I tell them all, man, the streets ain't nothing fun outside.
Just ruthless.
Nah, ain't nothing fun outside, but you learn there's nothing fun outside by being outside. So I was very much outside doing all the wrong shit growing up. Started hustling young, saw a lot of things. I saw way more than I should have saw at that young age, you know what I'm saying? So, but I always wanted more for myself, so I said I'm gonna go to college and do the most I could do and be the best I could be and make mama proud and not get lost in the street with the rest of my friends, you know what I mean? I didn't want to do mad time in prison and get caught for selling all these drugs and shit.
Because that was common.
Yeah, I hustled my whole life. I was just lucky enough not to get jammed up or die. I'm still alive. Look at me. You know what I'm saying? It's oxygen in here. I'm good. But yeah, I definitely was outside doing the most. Even when I first got on with music, I was still way outside. And then
so you were living like a double life. You were in the music business, doing that, but then you were also in the streets heavy.
Yeah, but I think I wouldn't call it a double life. I think everybody just knew the life I was living. I probably was that hot in the street because they're like, yeah, he's official. He's really about what he's rapping about.
Yeah.
Duh, I know. But I think what slowed me down and got me more focused was having kids. I got twins in the middle of all the buzz. When I first got on, it was me and 50 Cent, hottest in the street, buzzing all crazy.
I remember that.
And then I was in bidding wars, got the big deals, tours, all of that shit. And then, boom, I had kids in the middle of all of that. That kind of made me recenter my focus because I was definitely way too outside at that time. I was not operating like a rapper that was trying to go platinum. I was outside, but kind of famous. So it's not what's up. You know what I mean?
So you were just enjoying the fruits of what came with the rap game.
Kind of, sort of. I don't even think I maximized that. I'm more maximizing it now. When I first got on, believe it or not, I did not even want the fame at all. I just wanted to create and be the best. The fame part, I was never into the shit. Even when I was in college, I went to St. John's University. I was studying physical science to be a doctor, dead ass. And I wasn't like shopping a demo, pursuing music in a way that other people did. Not that I didn't want it. It was just a dream that I just wasn't actually pursuing like it was going to be my reality. I was going to school for something else.
I understand. I completely understand.
I didn't know it was going to happen for real.
Exactly.
In the back of my mind, I knew it, but I wasn't like, some people were like, fuck this. I know I'm going to make it. I'm going. It just wasn't on the forefront of my mind as my plan A at that time. You know what I mean? So,
given where you were from, what you were seeing, what you were a part of, you just thought that it was kind of far away. Even though you knew you were talented, yeah,
I just wanted something else. I thought I was gonna be hustling forever. I didn't see it like clear. I didn't see it super duper clear until now. Believe it or not.
Yeah.
Dead ass. Like,
and I'm wondering.
My whole career, I was still outside.
And I'm wondering if that's the reason why you're seeing the
fruits.
Yeah, things manifesting the way they are because you are envisioning that for yourself now.
This is the first time I see it so clear. I remember my man used to always say, my partner Wayne, shout out to Wayne, he's always been like, yo, you gotta visualize, you gotta see it. And there was a large part of my career where I couldn't visually see it. I didn't see myself on the Grammy stage giving speeches. I didn't see myself going on these world tours. I didn't see it. Once you see it, it becomes reality because you can feel it. You can see what it feels like. That's why I always say, like, for example, pardon me, let's say you want a big mansion. I would say book the appointment with a real estate agent and walk through that.
Yes.
Go to the mansion, touch it, sit in a chair, feel what it feels like to be in a mansion.
Yes.
Feel that. You know what I'm saying? Because then you can make it a reality because now it's real.
You know, a lot of people tend to do that when it comes down to like, that's why tours exist, or that's why when you want your dream car, you go and you just drive it.
Right.
You do a test drive, you know?
You make it yours. The universe gives you what you ask for. The problem is two problems. One, people don't know how to ask, and then they don't know what they're asking for.
Exactly.
90% of the time, whether you can see it or not, you get what the you ask for. You just don't notice what you're asking for. So when you get it, it might not look like what you thought it was gonna look like. Or if it does, you'll be like, well, I didn't know it was gonna be like this. I know you didn't know that, but that's what you asked for. You got what you asked for. You just didn't notice what you was asking for. So you have to know what you actually want and see it and understand what you're asking for, because you're gonna get it. That's why the universe works. It's like GPS. You put the address in the GPS. You're not paying attention to how you're gonna get there. You're just following that shit. That's the universe. Put the address in and just go.
And somehow, some way, you end up there.
Every time.
Every time.
Every time. So straight like that.
I know that, you know, you experienced a significant tragedy in your early childhood.
Yeah. Well, many, but I just
a significant one though that was kind of life altering.
Yeah, my dad. I didn't grow up with him in my life as close as I wanted to be with him.
Mm-hmm.
And then when he was making more of an effort to be in my life, like when I was around 15, we started to get close, or we're on the way to getting close. He got murdered in front of me, but across the street from where I was living. My aunt house is here. He got murdered in this house by my neighbor. So him and his best friend at the time, by my neighbor.
Wow.
I had to like deal with that at that age. So that was crazy. I'm actually just processing all that now, believe it or not.
And isn't it funny how like that's maybe more than 20 years ago?
Yeah, and I'm processing it now. I don't think I ever dealt with it because at the time when that happened, my brain just shut it out. Like it wasn't real. Like the day it happened, I went to school the next day like it was nothing. Teachers and principals was like, "You sure you want to be in school? Do you want to go home?" I was like, "No, I'm fine." It's like, "Are you sure?"
Yeah.
It was all in the paper. It was like front page news and shit.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah.
And that's when I also learned how much the media is full of shit, because they spun that shit to make it seem like the craziest action movie, even though it was crazy. It's like broad day. He shot 2 people in his yard. Like my dad died with his hands in his pocket with a smile on his face. It was not drama. It was not very lit and super smoky. The neighbor was just, I mean, it was over some business shit. I don't know what kind of business deal they did that went wrong, but it's like, it definitely didn't require him to
that level.
Yeah,
correct that.
bugging.
Yeah.
He's in your yard at your house. Like, he ain't running from you.
Yeah.
Like, what? You know what I'm saying? So, and what was even harder than that for me was the trial, sitting in the front row across from this douchebag while he's on the stand, looking at me like he don't really have no remorse. And I'm looking at him like I want to jump over the shit and strangle you. But I'm a kid. I'm like 15. That was even harder than that. Just sitting across from him for that long. I'm like, I'm just sitting there contemplating, what if I jump over here and just kill this? Can I do that in this courtroom? Like, but I'm a kid. You know what I'm saying? But those situations make you cold. It doesn't make you feel like expressing love or being vulnerable. It makes you cold. You feel like killing. You feel like you want to see blood. I wanted to see his blood and a whole lot of it. You know what I'm saying? So that shit made me, I don't think before that moment I was in the street as hard as I was. After that, I really didn't care about a lot of shit.
So you were 15, 16 when this happened.
Yeah.
And then from there, it just changed who you were as a human being.
Absolutely. It made me way colder. It made way more detached from emotion. Like, I didn't know how to really feel certain shit. Like, for sure.
And did you ever get therapy, like officially at the time?
I'm trying now. No, I didn't deal with none of that shit till now. Dead ass. This year, I'm starting to deal with shit like, you know, I'm a little nuts. Let me try to deal with my issues. Because from that moment, I've seen all kind of death and been through all kind of shit and all kind of losses. And I seen way too much too young.
Yeah, so many losses.
So when I say things like, oh, I'm a little nuts, people are like, don't say that about yourself. I'm not even saying that in a bad way. I'm saying, if you're that young and see as much as I've seen, how are you supposed to be quote unquote regular?
Exactly.
What is normal to me? What's a normal thought for me is definitely not normal for y'all. You know what I'm saying? I think because it's certain things I've seen. So when I think about what's normal, I'm like, what's normal?
Yeah.
What is normal? I don't know what normal is.
Just the simple fact that you had to be in the courthouse. Just the simple fact that you had to see what your father's killer looked like.
And sit across him. He was my
Yes.
neighbor. I already knew him.
Insane. Yeah, like that's
It's like, nigga, you know me.
insane.
Like, what?
Wow.
So I'm sitting across somebody that's a familiar face. He lived across the street.
And then you
It's not a
guys,
stranger.
and then the families had to have a life after all of that. And that must have been tragic too.
Yeah, they still your neighbors. It's
Right?
still, he's across the street.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So
that was intense. I was too young. I was too young to understand it all. You know what I'm saying?
so you lose your dad, you start being heavy in the streets. It seems like you're still doing good though, because you completed high school, you go to college.
Mhm.
So you're still like, there was somebody that kept you rooted through all of that.
Oh, my mom is the best.
It definitely is. It sounds like.
Best ever. Like my mother was so official. She was everybody's mom. Everybody's mom. All my friends, everybody I dated, they kids. She was everybody's mom. Like mad at my friends straight lived with me.
She sounds amazing.
Lived with me. Like different times in my life, friends like, let's say their families move in and they want to leave New York, or they fall on hard times and they homeless, whatever it is. Mad at my friends straight lived with me. Like, fuck, are you good here?
Wow.
My mother be like, straight, go take a room, go, you good. Live with me, year, 2 years, whatever. Straight up.
Yeah, she came from a different time. Yeah. She came from a different
Jamaican.
time. Yes.
Different.
Yes.
So my mother was different, man. Word. So
So your mom, definitely one of the main people in your life that held it down.
The main. And then I think the only real father figure that I would say I had was Chaz, who was my manager. Shout out to Chaz. He passed away.
Chaz Williams.
Chaz Williams, Black Hand. He was like, on paper, my manager, I was an artist, but in my life, he was like a father figure. It was more like father and son with me and him, for real, for real.
When did you first meet him? What was that like?
Just from being around the way. We all neighborhood shit, yeah. Neighborhood shit. I was young.
And you were already a musician at this time, or artist at this time?
I was always rapping, but I wasn't pursuing the shit. I just
got it.
We was already close. I don't even know when it became business. Keep it on. When the fuck did it become business? I don't even remember, but to be honest.
So you guys know each other, you're interacting with each other. When do you guys start working together? Like, how does that happen? What is that conversation like?
Question. I don't even remember when specifically we began to make it business. I don't remember specifically, to be honest. I just know that when it was business, I was with him every day, all day, every day. So this is somebody I'm already looking up to. But then being him every day, you learn a lot. I was an intelligent man, but he also like the most gangster on the planet. You know what I'm saying? Like there's not another human that's more gangster than Chaz. This is a person that did 15 years in prison, broke out 3 times, broke out of jail 3 times. Word. They're gonna like they trying to write movies and books about this man. Different level.
What was his? Gangster. Where was he from? He was American.
Jamaican.
Southside. He was American or Caribbean.
American.
Okay.
American. Chaz the shit, man. Chaz is that was my guy.
When you say gangster, what is something that you think that we should know about, like the way gangsters really like conduct themselves on a day to day that is different?
That's a good question.
You know what I mean?
When I say gangster, different than what the fuck he's saying. I've seen different things. That's why when somebody be like, are you a gangster grab? Like, nah, I can't compare myself to them dudes that I've grew up with and consider the realest. Like the street guys of today don't compare to what I've seen growing up.
Absolutely.
Like I've had I don't know if it's an honor or pleasure to y'all, but to me, it's an honor of being raised by the dudes that y'all heard stories about your whole life. The dudes they write movies about. Like when you see movies like American Gangster, Denzel playing Frank Lucas.
Yeah.
Frank Lucas, Nicky Barnes, all these names I hear in these movies. That's all Chaz's circle and surroundings. That's his. Not say his friends, but that's his circle. Those are the people that they all know each other and move around in the streets. You know how you might know the other journalists that are in your bracket, y'all all cool. That's his circle. You know what I'm saying? So I was raised by the dudes y'all hear the stories about, man. So it's different when I say it. And that's why I don't say certain things in the media, because if I say, like, not to go too far off the point, but let's say like let me give you an example. Let's say a particular rap. I'm not even gonna say no names because it's gonna go.
Of course, yeah. Let's
say
do no names.
Let's say a particular rapper, right, has paperwork on him and he snitched, right?
Yeah.
If other rappers say, let's say his name was just Catch Up. Catch Up, MC Catch Up snitched yesterday, And MC Ketchup is your favorite rapper. Everybody know MC Ketchup. If the average rapper says he snitched, nobody's gonna give a. If I say it, it's different. It's gonna stick in the street, and you're gonna have an issue because other people I'm attached to. Certain things I say streetwise is gonna mean something different to outside because it's different.
Yeah.
So there were certain artists that might have had that jacket on them, like, oh, he snitched. Like I might get a call from the feds, such and such snitch, man. Da 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 da. Put it out there, and if I like the person and I'm cool with them, and I might not be cool with you on some friend shit. If you got some snitch shit under your belt, we're not gonna be cool. That doesn't mean I want to see you die or get harmed.
Exactly, because it's a real thing to have that label. That's a dangerous label to have.
It's dangerous label to have with the type of I grew up with.
Yeah.
Nowadays, it don't really matter. You can snitch and still hang out with you. And you snitch on me. The rules are different. The street G code stuff is way out the window. It's different with this generation. It's nothing I've ever seen before.
They're kind of talking about that now.
It's
with
really
the
weird.
recent case with the Young Thug and, you know, some of the people that are associated with him or what they did.
Well, I'm glad they standing on something because it's like if y'all all in the wrong, ain't nobody supposed to be telling on nobody. That shit ain't that shit. I don't know his stories. I'm maybe talking about his
exactly
story in particular because I haven't been following the case. But a snitch is a person that the snitch word only applies to a criminal.
Yeah.
If you're an innocent bystander and you telling on somebody, that's not snitching. You're just being a bystander, a pedestrian, a civilian. You just saying your truth. Cool. If you live a life of crime and you get jammed up and you tell on somebody to save yourself, that is selfish and that is snitching and that is what should be condemned because you are wrong. You just don't want to deal with taking accountability and the consequences that come with your actions. That's not gangster at all. You know what I'm saying? So if niggas is starting to talk bad about that now and stand on it, that's great. Because that shouldn't be cool. It's different if you are innocent and you're just telling your truth and you're not about that life. Cool, this doesn't apply to you. If you was an outside and you sound, it's like if you're playing basketball, if you're on the court, there's rules on the court, dog. If you're not playing by the rules, get the off the court. You can't go on a basketball court swinging a hockey stick. That's not what's up. So if they talk about it, like I didn't realize that dude was talking about this because I don't pay enough attention to certain things online, but if people are standing on that, that's great because I know a bunch of people that co-sign snitch because they got money. Like you could be a snitch, a rat, dishonest, all types of shit, and you got money, you got the bag now, nigga still hang out with you. He ain't tell on me. I don't care. What? I was just raised different. If you told, we could have been cool. We could have been. I know particular dudes that told who I love as people, and I can't with you because I'm raised different. There's people like I'm thinking about two. I'm not gonna say their name, but. Two in particular, and they gangsters, they official, and it doesn't mean you're a bitch. I know gangster that still told. They'll blow your head off, but they still told. I know two in particular, one that I really had love for, like, damn, he was my nigga. And he went left, and I never seen him again. Can't.
It's interesting because there's times where, like, when you work in certain places, you get to understand how that works.
Right.
And, you know, a lot of the times it's who else is gonna give it up but your closest friends.
Right.
So it just when those scenarios happen, it's just tragic because it's like, damn, that's supposed to be someone that you hold close to your heart. Do you really hold anyone close to your heart? You know?
You like that. You can't. That's why I'm telling you, like, a lot of like, even like hip hop, rap stuff, there's a lot of dudes, especially if you're a gangster and you did time and you did all this shit, you're not built to be going back into jail at this age. You're going to tell on everybody. I don't be trying to hear that gangster shit. I don't believe none of you niggas, man.
A lot of people,
I don't believe none of you niggas, man.
Whatever's convenient, most people will do.
You will do the selfish thing and save yourself. It is what it is.